Firstly, when we open the case, we will find there was a part of this big one, and also spare parts and the tools in the back. Firstly, what we need to do is install this part, the label roll holder. About this part, there was 3 screws on here, which needed to install on the parts here. Firstly, let's take down the 3 screws. Then find the 3 holes and make sure the holes on the up, this part on the downside. And install like this. So the parts installation is finished like this.
After open all the case and installed, we should do damage inspection before using. We should look around the machine and check if there was any damages. If there was any damage or broken, please call us. Thank you. After we install these parts, then we need to install the new label. So first, let me introduce the label road from this side, across this bar, then to here. Then very important is cross the label sensor, then go here, then go around here, then here, then here, then go inside of this bar, and go out of here and here, then rotate like this. Now let's do it again. Remove this bar. Open this cover. So if you have a new label roll, firstly you should remove this top cover, then take out your label and put it inside. Then use your cover to put it down, then lock this screw to make it tight. Then the label cross here firstly, then cross here. Then very important, across the label sensor there was a gap. The label must go through the gap. Then go here like this. Then go to the peeling board. Okay, come here and cross this one. Then this one needed to be loose and go into the middle from the front side to the back side. Then go back like this. Yeah. Then cross here. Then like this. And rotate. Cover it. Try to roll one way. So after this, and make this tight, lock it, and also this small part, this part, you need to be pressed the label so the label will be tight and not moving easily, and then lock this. And after the label install, to make the label road balance, you can move these small black parts down so that the label will not move upside down easily. Then the label road installation is finished. Now let me introduce how to set the label sensor. The label sensor is at this place, and there is a gap. You can see there's a gap where the label need to go through this gap. And you can see if there was a label, the light is on. When the label pass, when it senses the gap of the two labels, the light will be off. So like this, it is correct. If you change another new label, your labels, so you need to set the label sensor depend on your label. What you need to do is like this. Firstly, you can see there was two buttons, one plus, one minus. First, you need to press these two buttons together. Sorry. Then it will be flash. So what you need to do is press these two buttons together, and it will flash. Then let it sense the gap. After sense, then press minus. Then check. Like this is successful. So when it senses the gap, it will be light off. When there is a label, it will be light on. So let's do it again. Press the two buttons together, then flash, then cross the label, let it go through. then press minus, then check. Now let me introduce the machine from this side to that side. After install the labeling, now let me introduce here the main conveyor belt is this one to sending the bottle from this side to that side. And this is a guide rail. You can lose it and control the road. So to guide the bottle where it goes. And this is a labeling system to sending label one by one, and you can rotate like this to move up and down. So to choose labeling area on the bottle, higher or lower, you can control by this rotating black wheel. And this is a motor to control the label sending system. And this is another belt. When the bottle get a label and stick a little, and it will go through, and this belt will rotate and pressing the label to stick on the bottle more tightly. And this motor is to control and give the power of this belt when moving. And this also can be up and down moving by rotating this black wheel to control the heightness of this part. And these two black wheel to control this board up and down. This moving up and down, forward and backward, depend on the bottle diameter. Make sure this plus board just press the bottle, not very tight, but it's so that it can touch and press the bottle to connect this part. And this is bottle sensor. When the bottle comes, the sensor will get the signal to tell the machine the bottle have come. And when the bottle arrive and get arrive the sensor place, the light will be on here. And that side is a main motor to control this main conveyor belt. And downside is a control panel, and this is a power switch. When you press it, it will turn on. Now not connect to the electricity. Firstly, let me connect the power. On the back side there was a cable. You need a plug in, give it power. Then press the power button to switch on. And then go into the main page. And this is the auto start button. When you press, the machine is ready for labeling. And if there was a bottle go and it gets the signal, the machine will start the labeling. And this is the emergency stop button to stop. If you want the machine back to work, just rotate and it will jump out. This is stop, rotate and jump out is finished. Then you press again, it will move again. And this is a switch to control this blue belt to speed controller to rotate slow, moving faster. And this one is to control the speed of this belt, moving faster, slower, like this. To control the speed, two speed controller control two speed of the belt. Now let me introduce the sensor sensitivity adjustment part. As you can see, when it is normally, it is covered by this black cover. When you need to adjust, you should remove this, and you will see there was 2 screws. Upside one is to adjust the sensitivity roughly, and downside is small screw is to adjust it precisely. Then what we need to do for this part is like this. For example, you have a bottle, the bottle which needed to be labeled. You put it here, and make sure the sensor can sense the bottle, so the light is on. If it is not on, you need to rotate it to make it be light on. Now, for example, now if you find your bottle arrived at the sensor place, but the light is not on, what you need to do is to make sure the light is on, like this, light on. When the bottle not, when the sensor not sense the bottle, it should be off. On, off, on, off. So adjust like this will be enough. Depend on your bottles. After adjusting, then we cover it, close it. Now let me introduce the control panel. So when we start the machine, we will go into the control panel page. So the first one is the conveyor belt line. When you press it, it will start and stop like this. So this one is to control the main belt. But this button, it depends on the emergency stop button. If the emergency stop button is be pressed, so to press this is no use. And you will see there was an error showing that. And so let's introduce this button, reset button, to press and reset. So the error will go off. Any error, like a labeling system, will also get an error. You can press this reset button to remove the error. Now let's see it again. So emergency stop button jump out. You can go start and stop by this button. Label start means if you press this, means the labeling system is ready to work. If you press like this, the labeling system will not working. So when you give signal, it will not come out. When you press manual testing, the label will not come out. So after you press like this one, so the labeling system will work. So when you give a signal, it will send a label. And downside, the manual testing means when you press this button, it will send out one label for testing. You press it, it will send out one label for testing. Counter reset means to return this number back to 0. When you press it, now it becomes 0. Code on and code off, it's depend on the machine model. If the model with printer, so if you want to use it, make sure the press this code on, and it show code off. The machine is code on. When you press code off, the machine will not making code. This is for only optional for the with printer model. And the reset, as you can see, when you press it, when there was an error, then you can reset it. And the production count means how many bottles have be labeled. For example, when you give a signal, it knows one bottle have be passed and labeled. Standard length means the protection for the labeling system. If the label sending out with error, it's keeping sending out labels to avoid wasting labels. So there was a protection system. This to 20,000 means after sending 20,000 lengths, the label will stop sending out for protection. Labeling speed, 5,000 means the label will sending out the speed with 5,000. So 20,000 standard length means with this speed, it can send out 4 seconds. You can use 4 times 5,000 equal to 20,000. So for example, if you set this one 10,000, 10,000, that means if the labeling system get an error, after sending out 2 seconds, the labeling system will stop. So you can set depend on the speed. Of the delay label means this label sensor, when the bottle comes, the sensor gets the signal. After how many seconds later, it will send out a label. Now 0, that means when the bottle just come, it will send out directly. If you set it, for example, let me set it 1 second. So means the bottle sensor sends a bottle after 1 second, then it send out the label. So it's detailsly it depend on the build speed. Now let's test when it sends a bottle after 1 second, then send out label. To let you see clearly, let's change it to 2. 1, 2, send out a label. So it depends on the speed of the conveyor. And the delay stop label means the label stop position. As now you can see the label stop very good position like this. And it's also depend on your labels, depend on your bottles. You need to set this button. Now 0.3 is this label best position. If the label, your label is different, you can need to set. You will see the label stop position will change. See, the position is changed. This position is not good, it's too coming out. See, this also too much out. So it's depend on the setting. Let's set it back to 0.3. So this one is best for this label. Stop at this position is most good. Setting the output, that means after how many pieces you work, machine will stop and you need to set it again. So for example, you just want to label 100 bottles, you can set it 100. So after 100 bottle be labeled, the machine will stop. So if you just want to keep it working, you can set it bigger. After install the parts, then we after install the labeling system, after setting the label sensor, after setting the home page, then we can start work. So firstly, also you needed to do is to adjust the guide rail, depend on your bottle size, bottle diameter. Then after guide rail the correct position, then lock it. And also change the forward and backward depend on your bottle, the labels. Make sure it is be pressed. And if your label is not same height, if the label not good, you need to adjust the balance by these 4 screws downside here to adjust the balance. to make the label at the same level.